The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, it's me. It's Nikki. I'm Nikki. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome to the show. I forgot what I said at the top of the show. And I don't want to do it again. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited for the show today. Brian is still away. Brian Frange is he got married this past weekend. We'll talk about that. He is not on the show because this is like kind of his wedding week off. Yeah, postpartum week off. And so not in his place, but just here with us today in studio in St. Louis with me is back by popular demand, Taylor McGraw.
Hey,
train jumping, klepto,
crime fighting.
I have other qualities besides crime.
fascinated in John Bonet, like leading expert in John Bonet, probably within 100 miles radius.
Insect
taxidermist.
preserving. Oh yeah. Screen replacing, thrift shopping.
Car painting.
Yeah. And you have a degree too, though. You actually like have things that you could say after your name besides these things we're just like attributing to you. What's your degree in?
I'm an MA. I could be Taylor McGraw MA, I guess. Master's degree.
In what?
Psychology.
But what's the A stand for?
Arts.
Let me get. Can I try a fake CV? Like, Taylor, tell me how close I am. Taylor McGraw has worked in emergency rooms, working with high risk patients who have experienced schizophrenia and serious mental illness.
Yeah, sure.
Is that good?
That sounds great.
That's really good. And I like the worst use of CV. That's very European of you.
Oh, I don't even know what it stands for.
Isn't that
curriculum vitae?
Is that really it?
Yeah, it's like your vital
but
curriculum.
It's a resume, correct?
Yeah.
CV.
It's more.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, basically, it's more bullet pointy, I think.
Okay, and I call it a resume.
She's also a writer and illustrator.
You have so many facets.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated.
You guys have facets too. What the hell are you talking
I actually thought of you today because on the street it says never stop improving on these signs that are like construction signs for the hospital near me. And Taylor one day was like, you could read that as never stop improving. Like they're always just like freewheeling it in there. Like never
what are we gonna do this time? I don't fucking know.
They're like yes-anding each other. By the way, I once dated a guy.
Word.
I once dated a guy, Nikki knows who I'm talking about, who seems like he just learned the phrase yes-anding. And if you don't know what that is, it's just what they do in improv where someone suggests
something. Then you need to start improving if you don't know.
Yeah, you never start.
Someone like suggests an idea and the good improv actor or sketch person will say yes and to that, meaning they won't like poo-poo the idea and switch the track or like the subject to something.
You should always be like in to keep the flow going. Do you know that about improv?
Yeah, but that's also therapists.
Oh, you yes and?
Yes and.
Oh,
really? If someone's like, I want to kill my brother.
Are butts ever good?
And how about your mom?
Okay, the
guy,
what about this guy?
He just would use this phrase constantly, and he was kind of
yes and?
He would always use it in a metaphor. He'd be like, I was at this Broadway show, and it was just so wonderful to meet all these people there because everyone
honestly,
like yes
you guys can
ands.
probably figure out who this is from her impression. It's someone you would recognize by their voice. Wait, say it again. Do it again.
He'd be like, the sign of a good friend is someone who's yes-anding a lot, And I'm like, you're using this phrase constantly. Like, you should not be using yes and thrice.
Yeah, it's like when everyone learned the word wheelhouse and everyone started using it too much. A rape industry term.
I wear many hats.
Oh, God. I really think of them as wearing. I only want you to say that if you wear lots of hats, and then if you do, I don't want to really know you. If you're
like cop hat, policeman,
firefighter, Stetson. I wear many hats. Really grosses me out. But an actual hat joke that I made in a Seth Meyers late night set that Taylor Swift actually put in a song. So she has this new song. Which one is it? I cried over a hat. Oh yeah, okay. So it's in the the new song. I think it's You're Losing Me. No, it's what's the Hits Different, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So in the bridge of Hits Different, she goes, I find the artifacts, cried over a hat, cursed the space that I needed, but cried over a hat. I did a joke that I was like, when you're going through a breakup, you'll cry at the drop of a hat. You'll be like, he wore hats. And I'd chase a hat down the street. And I was like, that's kind of the same thing. Like, was she maybe going for because she's talking about a breakup. I find the artifacts, cried over a hat.
I don't know if she did that many
but it made me excited that I was on the same path. I mean, I guess she just is meaning that I find the artifacts, like of her relationship, and she like finds an old hat and is
beanie.
Like, beanie.
It's definitely a skater boy.
Seattle skater boy.
She finds a beret and is like, thank God he's gone.
Thank God you broke up with that one beret guy, Nikki.
Yeah.
Pierre.
So Taylor and I I was trying to explain the new show that Anya and I are watching to you with Ultimatum. I really think besties need to get on board with it. It's Queer Ultimatum, and it's all women. Or I guess none of them are non-binary. I think there was one girl where they were tossing around them for a bit, but then they went to she, and then it was like no problem. I don't know. You caught that too? Yeah. So I think they all identify as what women. Who gives a shit? It's Queer Ultimatum. Not who gives a shit like I don't care what you go as, but who gives a shit for me telling you that. Okay. So Queer Ultimatum is awesome because Ultimatum, if you don't know, it's all these couples where one person is like, I want to get married. And the other person is like, I like how things are. The other person it's not like a couple that wants to break up. They both are happy with the relationship, but one is happy with the status quo and one is like, I need to get married or I'm done. So it's an ultimatum. And then they all get put in a mix. So it's 5 couples that all get thrown in together and they all meet each other. And the gist is, and they all sign up for this, they break up, in quotes, and then they all go live with another person they choose after they mingle over like a weekend.
They choose them.
Okay. Yeah. So they meet and they all date each other.
What if nobody chooses someone, they just stick the last few with whoever?
Yeah, you can tell that producers are just like, well, you guys just like try, but it ends up, everyone kind of agrees on it. Like people gravitate towards, and they all gravitate because this is the queer edition, they all gravitate towards each other's partner. So they're like mostly swapping because it's like the same kind of person or the same kind of dynamic. One person doesn't want to get married, the other person does. One person's avoidant, one person is secure, or one person is, what's the opposite of avoidant?
Securely attached?
Anxious.
Anxious, yes. So there's that MA. And so Mama's coming out. So gonna help me out, Mama, because there's a lot of that going on in here. So then they all pick different partners and they live together for 3 weeks with this new partner. And they don't talk to their exes at all. They are completely like doing this experiment of like and they called it trial wife. Like they're acting like they're married, which is a new kind of concept. There was an ultimatum that wasn't queer that already happened. And I was telling Taylor the biggest difference, and this isn't spoiler, is that no one be fucking.
No one be.
No, none of these women, some of them, I'm not saying who, but some will go the entire time of those 3 weeks sleeping in the same bed together, calling each other trial wife, and won't even hold hands or kiss. And I go, what are we doing here? Like, this isn't.
Wait a second.
But the
I thought I'm on
What episode are you on? Yeah, dude.
They're having some fun in the dark in the
there's
secret cameras.
One couple.
There's a lot
one
of,
couple.
Okay. No one,
that's the only one you're getting. Whereas
one, the blonde with the huge bazooms.
Yes.
And
there's so much more to her than that, but I can't think of a single thing. And Mal, yes. She's 24. The blonde with the huge boobs is 24.
Get right Mal in bed together and start like cuddling, watching a film.
No, but we don't see any kissing from them.
But can you imagine doing that? Kiss. You break up with the Chris. The next night, you're in bed with Jake.
Okay, but I understand the next night. I give these in the ultimatum, the first version with straighties, they were kissing by the end of the first week. I mean, it takes a little time. So I'm not asking these people to jump right into things, but the whole 3 weeks, I don't really care anymore about the show if you're not going to attempt to like kiss and get with someone else. That's what makes this interesting. But it turns out, which the ultimatum did not tell us, is that they all agreed with each other before they broke up that they wouldn't do anything physical with each other.
Yeah.
Now, this is such a woman thing. I told Chris, I was like, the reason this is happening, and I was like, is because they're women and they can't stand. It's like this I think there's something to that because most of my female friends couldn't imagine their partner being with someone else. And so I think, and most men are territorial as well. So I don't know why is this happening on this show more than, and the only people that hook up betray that promise, by the way.
Right. So there is a spoiler here. And if you got here, here's a belated.
No, there's no spoiler. You're not going to know. You're not going to know who did it.
Okay. But if you're watching on Ep 1, hoping that somebody fucking on Ep 2, you just found out they're not.
Well, no one's watching it to see if they fuck. I'm just telling. So yes, that's a spoiler.
I want them to.
Well, guess what? Or you should be mad about it then too. Because why the fuck aren't they fucking? Well, did you notice this as well? That no one is being intimate until like the last sec, where it's like, come on.
I just assumed they were. I had a different response. I was like, these fucking hoes.
You just thought they weren't showing it to us?
Spooning on like the afternoon of breaking up with someone.
You don't think a reality show, if they had footage of these two kissing, would show it? You think they're sitting on that footage, but then we gotta watch, but instead they're choosing her going out to lunch with a friend she hasn't seen in 4 years who's like, hey, you look happy and different. Like those scenes I could fucking just throw them in the trash. Let's get some action in here. Even if it's just hand holding, I want to see anything. So in my mind, Anya, they're not showing us things because if they had it as a reality show producer, they would show it.
Yeah. Or fake it.
Yeah, I thought they were being like polite or like having a little restraint.
No.
But they're definitely getting
reality
cozy.
TV is respecting anyone's boundaries.
Don't you think that they told them they need to do that?
How much cozy can you watch? No. And what I do know is that they purposefully withhold that information from us as a viewer that they all promised each other because that comes out later on. And you go, well, what the fuck am I watching this for? I would never watch a show where everyone agrees to not get physical with the other person they're supposed to go be physical with. That's the premise of this fucking show.
It's about consent, and I didn't consent to see boring TV. I
thank you.
To see
Mama.
I have a question though.
Mama.
It is good.
So when I talk to like my male guy friends and they tell me about their hookups and stuff, and they can just go to like a day spa and jerk a guy off and stuff like that, and then it's over.
Yes.
And and then
less emotion involved.
Yeah, there's absolutely no emotion. It's
or
just
vulnerability,
kind of like,
or yes.
Yeah, it's just like for fun. You have a need, I have a need. Let's get it done.
And I'm not saying that's all gay sex. We're not generalizing.
Not at all.
It's just
I don't want to make a stereotype.
Part of the gay sexual experience I've found and have heard is that they can do it without any emotion or like, is he going to call attached to it?
Yeah, it's like a completely, and I'm fascinated by it. That's why I love to hear stories because I cannot relate to it at all. I know I wouldn't be able to do something like that. So do you think, I mean, I don't have any lesbian friends actually. So do you think that it's kind of similar to us where like, it takes us forever to like hook up with a guy and there's all those nerves too?
That's a really good point is that they need to build that emotional connection before the physical can happen. And I just thought there would be, because there are so many, well, you've been in a relationship with a non-binary person, Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find, I thought because some of these women present more masculinely, and I've been around lesbians who hit on me hardcore and it feels exactly like a man who just wants to get his dick sucked hitting on me.
Yeah.
You know, like the same kind of like, I just want sex kind of thing. I thought we would have more of that from some of the more masculine energy women.
Yeah, I was surprised about that. I would think that the lesbians would be hooking up way more than the straight people.
Or falling like fast, quick.
Yeah.
U-Haul lesbian.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's good though, because in the original, the one with all the straights, you only got to choose the other. They can choose. There's a bigger pool to choose from because it's all women, as opposed to half being the sex you're not attracted to. So it's just better, and it's just interesting, and you just get to watch relationship dynamics and judge other people for things you do in your own relationship, and it brings up good conversations when you're watching it with your partner, and you see like manipulation happen, or certain people remind you of people you've dated.
Yeah, there's a villain
really
on
good.
this one, and
ooh, yeah.
I was wondering what you thought of the villain character, Nikki. Did you empathize
I
with
think
her?
she talks with her teeth like in an amazing way where it's almost like that's how I'm supposed to be singing is every time that you open your mouth, it goes all the way open.
This is how I'm doing my vocal exercise.
This
Also
is how
sticking my
you are
chin
supposed
out
to
a little
sing.
more.
Yes.
Because it's a strong jaw.
She looks like Natalie Portman. She's gorgeous. She's one of the most stunning people. I think she's just like the type of, she's the girl that I had a crush on my freshman year. Kat and I both had a crush on this girl in our hall, our freshman year. It was the first time we ever felt like a little gay and we couldn't help it. I was like, I think I'm in, her name was Marissa. Yes. And she's like a volleyball player, but she looked like Vanessa. And I was like, I'm thinking about Marissa a lot. I think I like love her. And Kat was like, she's so hot. And we were both like, I don't know if I wanted to be her or be inside her, but anyway, she looked like this Vanessa girl. But my take on Vanessa is that she's like fun. And so like, at first she's like the most fun and the most spunky and everyone's just like delighted by her. And she's just like, let me ask you a crazy question. Like if you were an ice cream topping, what would you be? Like she just is like, and she asks a lot of questions that she wants to answer.
Right.
That's like her thing. And someone even calls her on it.
And everything
I
always
feel
comes
bad
back
for
to
her.
her. But I'm
Nothing
beautiful, right?
ever-
Let's talk about my beauty.
I like her. And I'm sorry. I like her. And it's
Does
just
she hook up?
So fast.
No, I mean, no, that wasn't that fast. That was like 2 weeks in.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yes.
But she goes the farthest, I think.
No, she does not.
Yes.
Ooh.
Their whole
Dude,
the
no.
P word comes up. Penetration, all because of her.
Pussy?
Yeah, but you don't think Xander and
Oh yeah. They be
Xander
fucking.
Yoli are fucking.
Wait, can
she
you-
even asked Xander? She goes, "Did you mouths? Did you use?" Because lesbians call sex fingering. By the way,
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
What? Do your little sound.
Also the sound I make when I'm
Coming.
getting fingered.
Yeah. This girl fingers another girl, not saying who, and they're all like, they had sex, and I'm like, nah, what? Like, I thought sex was like, a lot more things have to happen than a light fingering. So you can have
But what?
sex at the movie theater if you're a lesbian.
You could go down on him and
Yeah.
Yeah, Linus Morissette could. But like fingering someone lightly, do you think the lesbian community considers that sex?
Yeah, because they don't have a penis, and that is the prerequisite for calling it sex for heteros.
So are they thinking that heteros, when we finger each other, is sex too? Does that
no,
count?
they just
Like,
that's all they get, man. Is a
well, like,
thing.
let's say I was in a relationship with a woman and then I got fingered by a guy and she's like, you had sex with him. And I'm like, no, I didn't. But according
No, I don't think they would say that.
GQ,
So
Nikki,
I don't
GQ.
But then that's not fun. That's not fair then, because sometimes I don't want to have it mean sex with someone. So if I was dating a woman and she fingered me, I would not want her to think she had sex with me.
Well, I think it's more like you're also like humping, and you can do it at the same time.
yeah, if you're naked and like doing that, and like,
I don't think it's just that. I don't
But
think
then-
they would call this sex. They would call
that's
that
what
like
they did.
foreplay.
That's what they did the whole time. They're
Can't
like, they
wait
had
for
sex and
Taylor
they did
McGraw
not.
to get on this show. I mean,
Let me
watching
get on
it,
it.
not actually on it, although that would be kind
Yeah,
of
it's like, I
entertaining.
think her relationship's pretty good. I don't think either of them are ready to
Let me
serve
just
an
become
ultimatum.
gay again so I can do that.
Yeah, but then one was like, she was like, we hooked up, and they're like, did you do mouth stuff?
I missed
Because
that.
her mouth's always open, but she was like very wanting to know about mouth. And then Xander's like, I don't want to answer that. And it was pretty much like, I'll tell you when we're not on camera, okay? But guess what? If someone dodges a question about mouth stuff, you did some mouth stuff.
Yeah.
That's a yes.
Yeah, mouthy.
What I found so interesting is that a lot of the ones that seem the most needy at first in episode 1, the most hardcore ready for marriage, they're the ones
Yeah.
that flip the fastest and all of a sudden want to marry someone new.
Because then they meet someone who actually is available to them and is not avoidant. So the ones that are constantly wanting to get married to this person that's avoidant, they are forced to do this experiment because the other person they're in a relationship really wants to fuck someone else. Really, they're all kind of reluctantly like, I guess I'll do this, but like, I love you. I want to get married to you. And then they are forced to then go be in a relationship with someone else. And some of them end up with, secure people or also like more anxious people. So then they find someone who's actually wanting what they want, which is like this thing that but they wouldn't be with them otherwise unless they were forced by this show, because you
They
know,
wouldn't
avoided
choose that
pizza.
person.
Yeah, they would choose a carbon copy of, and some of them do choose like the same kind of person in their last partner. But yeah, that is.
Are there any
that's
women you
interesting.
absolutely could not date on that show? Like any personalities that you're like, oh,
Yes.
oh,
Tiff.
yes. Wait,
Tiff and her fucking
Tiff.
dog. We'll get to that after the
yes,
break.
that
One
was
sec.
intense.
We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So, sorry to talk about the Ultimatum, a show you probably haven't seen, but there is one girl in there who's like, if you don't like my dog, then sorry, fuck you. You're out. And I'm like, your dog is a husky. It's 12. It's going to be dead in like 3 months. So you should probably have a plan for love after this. It is. Those dogs don't live that long. The dog is 12.
She's
I
a
was
little
like,
aggressive. Like it really is.
Is she
like,
also husky?
you can fuck
She
right
is-
off
yeah,
if you don't. She is, yeah.
yeah, she gets mad at this really sweet woman she's living with who's just like, she's like, I just feel like you like don't even like my dog. Like you haven't. And she's like, I love animals. Like I am a gentle, kind person.
Oh yeah,
I
well,
love
you know
all
what?
animals.
I sleep with my dog, and if you're not into the dog in the bed, you can fuck right off. Is what I just realized.
I feel like I've been making so many compromises and there's been none from you. I didn't say I didn't like the dog.
I'm done.
And then there's Aussie who's like, oh, there's this one woman and her girlfriend's like, we need to like talk. Every time she wants to confront her about something, she like is like, I can't have this conversation right now. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm just not going to have this conversation with you right now. And the woman's like, when can we? And she's like, I need to meditate first. I need to be in the right state of mind. I'm not going to have this conversation
Oh,
with you.
I related
And
to
she was like,
Ozzy because it was a spicy Latina. It was like, you don't like my fucking tone? We're going to talk now. And Ozzy's like,
Yeah.
not with this tone. I'm afraid I'm going to go outside and walk the dog for the third
I
time.
agreed
That's
with
a good accent.
Aussie the first time. The tone was a little much, but this girl eventually just wants to have a conversation. And it's, guess what? It's going to be a little heated because it's about, they're criticizing each other, you know? So it's so Aussie literally goes, I'm
Wait,
not
her
ru-
name is Aussie?
Yeah, she's like, I'm not running away. I'm not running away. And she's putting on running shoes. She's like, I'm leaving, but I'm not running away. And she's like lacing up these Nikes. It's so funny. But then, and then she like, so we're spoiling this whole thing. But anyway, it's a fascinating little trip into lesbian culture that I quite enjoy. And then, other things I want to talk about. Went to Brian Frange's wedding. We'll do a better recap on that when he is here, but it was so pretty and lovely. We went out to Colorado, Grand Lake. You have to land in Denver and then drive like 2.5 hours up to this beautiful little town. So picturesque, so mountainous, and it like hailed minutes before his ceremony. So it was like insane that like and you just walk from your cabin to the little nuptial knoll, which I was like, that was the only knoll I've heard of besides the grassy one.
There's another knoll.
Yeah, there's one other knoll. The nuptial knoll. It's like
Sounds
on
like
this
a
cliff.
threat.
And yeah, that's probably where the ultimatum, like they do the final elimination rounds, the nuptial knoll. So, yeah, it was so beautiful, and it like was crazy weather right before the ceremony, and then the sun came out, and it was beautiful. And Brian his vows were so funny. He has a copy of them. He's going to read them for us when he comes back next week. He'll be
Fuck,
back
they
on
were
the show
funny.
next Wednesday. So
Will you punch
funny.
up my vows? I haven't even started them.
He wrote his in the morning. The thing is, the bar is so low. I'm not saying Brian's
But he's
were
an
funny, but they
incredible
were just
writer.
and. No, it wasn't about yes, he is, but it wasn't about the writing. It was just, he was just honest. You know, like, you know how Brian is. He just like, the way he talks is funny.
Yeah.
And it was a grouping of everyone who knows and loves Brian. And Brian is a interesting character. He had like 12 close personal friends from high school there, all of their wives. Everyone's like, no, Brian has like a cast a wide net of friends. It was really fun. Adam Conover was there from Adam Ruins Everything. Amazing reception with great dancing, some critiques there, but not about his dancing, but about the music. We'll get into that.
We know
Brian,
he's a good dancer.
I heard a little.
a Taylor Swift song finally came on, and Brian came up to me, and I'll just say this. He just goes, "Is this acceptable?" And I said, absolutely not. And that's where I'll leave that, because it was just but it was so funny that it wasn't. It was better than if it would have been good. But otherwise we had so much fun dancing and just seeing Brian so happy. But his vows were incredible. Her vows were incredible. And then the speeches were really, really funny as well. And Brian apparently didn't get any sleep before his wedding day, did not sleep one wink throughout the whole night, which I think he put on the Instagram. That's where I saw that exact stat, because he was one of the reasons was he was so nervous about his best man speech, who he ended up,
Why?
the best man.
Why?
I'll just say the last line of the best man speech. He said something, he's just like giving him shit the whole time. And he goes, and like, Allie loves you, Brian, despite being this and also being on strike from a job you don't have. That was so funny. So shout out to Adam, I think his last name's Steinman. Adam Steinman, who does IT in Long Island and on Long Beach. Long Beach, Long Island. Is that a place? Very funny guy, and had one of the funniest speeches, even though he was up against comedians on it. And then it was a great time.
What was your favorite part?
Watching Brian walk down the aisle. Like, you know, I know men don't walk down the aisle, but like walking in.
Was he wearing his Cotopaxi?
No, he
jacket
wasn't. He wore it at every other thing. And yes, he did wear it at the reception right away. He just wanted to be comfortable, and he was also wearing his fanny pack the night before, like the intro dinner.
Why was that your favorite part?
Because he looked so happy. I was just like, I started crying as soon as I saw him, because I guess he's someone that I don't see like a lot of. People are saying he's not emotional, and I'm like, no, I see emotion from him all the time. I don't know. I was just so happy for him, I think. And then you just like hearing he was so. We'll talk about it. The reason is all locked inside his vows, because the way he started his vows, the way he kind of talks us through his life before he met Allie, and then what Allie brought to his life. And he said one thing that really was so sweet that I'll just share, that was like, because I remember it. He was like, they say marriage is about compromise, but I don't have to compromise anything with this woman. And I was like,
that's not fair.
Really? That's not fair.
Okay.
What? But I was like, actually, like, I think it's true, kind of.
Cut to Allie, like, God damn it. I can't ask him.
My life is hell.
I'm locked into this role.
She's just so cool. Like, I do believe, it makes me believe in true love. That's what I wrote in their little guest book. I was like, their love makes me believe in true love, and like how someone has like a soulmate kind of, or like the world, like, rewarded this man who was so looking for someone in his life to like share life with. And it was just, you'll see when he reads his vows. I'm so happy he agreed to do that when he comes back. So since last episode, I've been to a Flaming Lips concert, which was awesome. I went and saw the beautiful musical. I'm doing things every fucking night of my life. Tonight I'm going to Matchbox 20.
This is like a bucket list of life.
Taylor, Chris's parents, my parents, my sister, Matt Green, and Courtney Landrum from her show, and her boyfriend, Nick. So it's 12 of us. I asked Rob Thomas for 12 tickets because I know Rob Thomas. And I DM'd him and said, yes, Rob, I am asking you for comps. I am so sorry. You encouraged me to do it, Anya. I wouldn't have done it if Anya wouldn't have told me in the girls' chat that it's okay. No, it's not your fault. I got him.
That's
cool.
You
did tell me that I could do it, right?
Yeah.
You said
I will
pay for any that I can.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah. I did exactly what you said.
But did he make you pay?
No.
That's so nice.
No,
he probably doesn't have any friends in St. Louis.
He said we have no guests. It should be fine. I was like, I'm so embarrassed to ask for this number. Cool. I cast a wide net because I thought people like would have kids and like got to get up early. But I was like, everyone's a huge fucking fan and wants to go. And so I have 12 people who want to go. I'll pay for whatever you don't want to give me. I'll pay for all of them. I'm so embarrassed by this.
Nice.
And he said, I can't everyone has to COVID test before to go backstage. I was like, I would never bring 11 people backstage to meet you. And I want anyone who's ever coming to my show to know that too. If you have a big group, I will grant you them. Maybe if you're my friend, do not bring your whole fucking family backstage. That's too many. So I was like horrified that he thought I was going to try to bring 12 people backstage to meet him. But he gave me 5 backstages. So Taylor's going with me backstage. My brother and my sister, and potentially Chris.
True, Taylor? Are you a big fan too?
Yes,
Taylor
because of his
more Matchbox. Oh, we were talking about how he was a kind of a heartthrob. I mean, he was one of my first that I was like, that's like a kind of a man that I think is really cute.
It's the first man.
He reminded me of Pacey, and you didn't agree with that from Dawson's Creek. He had like a Pacey vibe.
I could see that.
I just like he's like my type of face, and the curls, like that 90s haircut where it kind of Taylor was saying it comes out from under the ears a little bit.
Yeah, and it goes crink. It's like a miniature Jennifer Aniston. It's like
yes, crink. And and he kind of even had Jennifer Aniston at the top. Like it's just kind of like or no, it was kind of more spiky. I don't really remember.
No, it
exactly.
was like it was Duhnuh.
It was Duhnuh.
What's Duhnuh?
Thomas.
So Duhnuh, if you don't know, it's I think we've covered it on the show, but it would be impossible to go back and find it. We called guys in high school that were like hot in this certain way that they listened to Fish. They like probably like Dave Matthews. They liked
puka shell
necklaces. They like drove vans.
Like the heel of their pant was shredded all the time.
They wore Birkenstock clogs. They played guitar.
How do you spell it?
Duhnuh.
Yeah, Duhnuh. So it comes from the guy that was the quintessential Duhnuh that was so hot. He had curly, moppy hair. He had like those like kind of corduroy, like thin corduroy pants that were just
talked like this.
Talked like this, and he had like he liked Grateful Dead and Fish. His name was Ryan Wilson, and so there's a Fish song called Wilson, and it's Duhnuh, Duhnuh. Wilson. It's like this bass note. So Duhnuh comes from Brian Wilson, who represents what that thing is. And we were like, oh, and so whenever we would see him, we'd go, Wilson, Duhnuh. And so we called them, one day we agreed to call them Duhnuh.
That's so cute.
So
do these guys always have marijuana on them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do they hacky sack?
Someone around them will have it.
Oh, hacky sack, 100 billion million.
They've got a Frisbee on hand, a hacky sack. Maybe they've definitely in college in the early 2000s tried that game where it's like those strings run like in the courtyard of college where there's like those rubber bands between trees and they're like balancing on it.
Slackline.
Oh, they were slacklining so much.
They had Volvos.
They had Volvos.
80s Volvos.
The Duhnuh guys in my high school had VW buses.
Everything.
Oh yeah, far from pooping. What they have
VW buses on? Like vintage VW
Yes, that's what
buses.
Duhnuh
I think
had.
Wilson did.
Yeah, Ryan Wilson had that. And his license plate, because I was in love with him secretly, his license said, Wir Viver.
You remember his license?
Kirsten remembers. We were saying it just last week. I don't know why it said Wir Viver, but that's what we
Like
doesn't
Grateful
it take you
Dead
back?
fans?
Oh, like We Are Everywhere.
Yeah, but it said Wir Viver. Like I don't even. It might have said We're Everywhere, and there was like maybe a little bit of it rubbed off. And
VW
so we were like,
owners. Vir Viver.
oh, maybe it was.
Oh my God. Like the
But we called it
Farfig of the
VW.
aughts.
Oh, it was so stupid. But anyway, yeah. So I just want to go through how many Matchbox 20 songs everyone knows because people. I asked my mom to go with me.
One.
You're out of your fucking
I know they have a
mind,
zillion
'cause
hits, but I
you
can't
know.
think of. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Besides the Santana one, which I loved.
Yeah, well, that's just Rob Thomas solo, and I've checked their set list for tonight because it's pretty static throughout their tour, and he's not doing any of his solo stuff, which is also stuff that I really love. But Matchbox 20 themselves, okay. Taylor, we can all complete this. I'm just gonna. Can I play just seconds of the song?
Yeah, as long as it's less than 10.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know
Okay,
this one.
that's 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. That's the one everyone knows.
Tone deaf.
That one is. And I don't know if I've ever been really loved by a hand that's touched me. And Anya, you know that. I wanna push you around.
Yeah.
Will I will.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, here we go.
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, yeah, this one. They used to play these songs all the time on radio and in supermarkets and everywhere.
That's the thing. It's
can you
the
not know?
backdrop to any time you would go into a supermarket, a gas station, a Panera, anywhere. I'm not crazy. I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell.
I forgot all these.
Iconic guitar tones for sure.
I guess I've already lost you. I guess you're already gone. I think I'm finally scared now. You think I'm weak. I think you're wrong. Yes, so that one's, I think you're so mean. I think we should try. I think I can need this in my life, and I think I'm scared. Do I talk too much? I can't relate, that's a problem. I feel it if you're gone. Baby, it's time to come home. Okay, we had to just get to the come home. He has a lot of moments like that where he's like, come.
Is he like kind of southern?
It reminds me of County Roads.
What?
So Adam Duritz will do that. Come home.
Yes, it was a 90s inflection, Pearl Jammy, and he's, you know, it's who he is. This one's a newer one. Do you know
I've
this
heard
one?
this one a lot.
Okay, I know that one. Let's see how far we've come. Let's see how far we've.
That sounds like they got a little
For
emo.
me, Rob Thomas really transitioned from like a guy that I wouldn't really look at to like, holy shit, he's hot. When he cut his hair, when he cut off that hair, you guys are perving over.
Oh,
Remember?
I don't remember when he cut it. Let me see when he cut it.
I remember
I
he was
didn't
like
see
on
that.
Howard Stern in maybe the early aughts or something, or late.
Probably.
And I was like, oh my God, he cut his hair and he looked so hot.
No.
And he changed his
Oh my
style.
God, when he shaved it.
Yes.
When he buzzed it.
It was so
Holy
hot.
shit.
Let me see.
I'm so glad this is airing after I meet him.
And he was
because this would
wearing
be awkward
Ray-Bans, like cool Ray-Bans.
Buzz had
Like
this is the look
aviators.
that Chris
He looks like,
had after he did
yeah,
his shaved
baby.
his mohawk.
Mama.
He looks like I think you should leave.
Oh,
Guy.
yeah, he kind of does look like Tim Robinson from I Think You Should Leave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like you better with curls. I'd like you to make that hair curls. Oh, yeah, Noah's showing us pictures. That one in the red.
He's
the red
so
shirt. where he's-
serious.
Can
Yeah,
you
he's
Google
cool.
Rob Thomas aviators? Because I feel like there was an aviator phase.
Yes, please.
Because I remember I was like, what the fuck? Oh, look at that one on
He
the top
still looks
left.
good, too.
That top left is my type right there.
And
Yeah.
he loves his wife so much. It's like so sweet.
Oof,
Okay.
he's almost Christian Bale like.
Wait. He
good
totally
Lord.
did aviators.
Oh,
There's a lot.
Yeah, short hair
Wait,
aviators.
click on one of those. I want to see it blown up.
Short hair aviators.
Short hair aviators.
Real specific with our
This is my
I can't believe there's
porn
not a tab for Rob Thomas short hair. I can't believe it doesn't just fill in for you. No, there's no short
He's a
hair.
real
Oh, wait, there's
cutie.
one.
There he is.
Oh,
I mean,
that's a short.
we're close.
Yeah, he's cute. He's hot.
Adorable.
It's very exciting.
he
and he's so
laughs.
nice. And he's giving me 12 tickets tonight. So we're going to that
What a
tonight.
guy.
And then tomorrow, for my birthday, Chris got me tickets to go see Tegan and Sarah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give him the ultimatum there. I'm going to jump in with those lesbians. I'm going to trade.
Say you either one of you gets Tegan and one gets Sarah.
I love them so much.
Nikki,
and
you're really
I'm so excited to see them.
adventurous. You're so
concert
outdoorsy.
man.
I love, Flaming Lips was I'm not saying yes to any concert, by the way. These just so happens to be like bands I really care about. Fight Test by the Flaming Lips. They were playing Yoshimi Battles, the Pink Robots, that whole album, like
Yes.
first, and then they were doing more.
Isn't that Hala's favorite album?
Oh yeah, she named her dog after.
Yeah.
She named her dog
Yoshimi.
Yoshimi. So, but that first song, Fight Test, off that album, I had to be there right away because the first song of Fight Test is in my top 5 favorite songs of all time. It's one of my. It's
so
the best, and it was
emotional.
so good. I know it's such a
Makes
good
me cry.
song.
I love that
Cause
album.
I'm a man,
I don't know what
not
you're
a
talking
boy. And there are
Oh,
things
yeah.
you can't avoid. You have to take it when you're not prepared. I don't even know why I like it so much, but I think it's because whatever key that's in, whatever, there's some elements of that song that make my perfect song. Because it is like when there's like a pleading in a song. Like there's this new Taylor Swift song, "You're Losing Me," and she's just like she's telling the guy like it tells us a window into her recent breakup, not with Maddie Healy, but with Joe Alwyn, and she's like in it, she's like, "You're losing me," and she just like keeps screaming it, but it's almost like begging, like try to like get me back, but also like sorry. Like at the beginning, she's kind of like. I love sorry, I'm just going to do a little Swiftie song analysis right now, but I think 12% of our listeners care. The song "You're Losing Me," it starts out, it's so good. She's like, "You say you don't understand. You say you don't understand. And I say, I know you don't." And it's so good because it's like, you know that someone's like, "I don't understand." And she's like, I know you don't, but it's just, but there's kind of like a little bit of, in the first verse, there's a little bit of her being like, I gave you, like, I'm letting you maybe try to win me back. And then by the second verse, she's like, I gave you so many signs. I bit my nails all the time. Like my skin was gray, but you wouldn't admit we were sick. These are some of the lyrics of just like, you should have known that. Like, how do you say you love someone you can't see is dying? Like, this relationship's been fucked. I've been like miserable in it. You don't even notice. This is coming out of nowhere for you. I've been miserable for months, and maybe I didn't say it outright, but like, you should have, like, it's weird that you wouldn't notice I don't like you anymore. So then by the third verse, it's over, and you could tell by the bridge, he's running down the hall. She's like, now you're running down the hallway. And they all say, you don't know what you lost until it's gone. You don't know what you got until it's gone. So then you can tell he's trying to like fighting back. And then I love the way she changes the chorus in the last chorus. She like is like, sorry, like, stop, you're losing me, like, you're embarrassing yourself, like, I'm gone. And I love a song that like takes you on a trip like that as well.
Is there anything in your past relationships that was like the indicator that it's over? Like, what is it for all of you?
Oh yeah, that's a good point, where it's an indicator that it's over.
Like, how do you know?
Having too many like white chunks in the corner of your lips.
Like, you don't find those charming anymore?
I would never date anyone that ever had
No.
one.
I mean, like, but if so, are you talking about like it showed up during a relationship? Like, suddenly they got it and you were like so grossed out? No, but I'm saying in the past, do you think, but what has happened in the past where I think what I'm predicting is going to be said, because I've heard this before, is that when you're disgusted by them.
That's what I was going to say. When you get the yucks or whatever it's called.
Icks. The ick.
Which you would get from the white stuff in the corners.
When you're
like you don't notice it before.
Yeah. Or
because
like if they get like sloppy, like if they get like so drunk and you're embarrassed.
I remember.
Or like so.
But if you love someone, you can put up with that. You get disgusted by their physicality. Their physicality doesn't have to change that much, and you can be disgusted by them when you finally are like not in love with them anymore, I think. And like cognitively, like we were talking about, like as a woman, like if the emotional bond is broken, they can become kind of disgusting physically. Whether they get the white things on their mouth or not. Like, they could have a clean mouth and you could still be like, even though I liked you a month ago and you look like this right now, I'm repulsed.
Don't you think that's because you made them much hotter by loving them? Like, when you first meet someone, you're like, they're pretty cute, but sometimes you're like, I didn't even notice that guy the first 10 times and now he's the hottest man ever. Didn't that happen?
It happens to one of the people on the Ultimatum, actually. There's this girl that starts out like fine and she gets so fucking pretty the more she is loved by this person. She's finally like in a relationship where she's getting showered with love. That's like so real intimate love, and she turns into a glowing princess. It's wild. Watch it to see who you think it is. But yeah, no, I think people in love, definitely, it's like talking to a plant and being like, I love you, and the plant like grows.
I'm realizing
I'm trying to think of other things.
Relationships. You know how they always say, like, they always come back. Just wait. They always come back. They don't for me. Like, they've never come back. I'm always like, they're going to come back someday. And all my breakups have been like violently like traumatic, or not violent, but like you're cheating on me and you do drugs. It's always like, what? Like, you've cheated on me every day for the last 6 years and you're a cocaine addict?
Was there any part of those people, because I'm just playing their side of things, which is literally the devil's advocate. If I was cheating on someone so much and also doing drugs behind their back and all these things, I would kind of think they knew a little bit. And so I would be, even if like, you didn't, there would be a part of me that was like
diarrhea for the last 6 years. That explains why every time I turned
as the cheater,
the key in the lock, I'd be like,
that would go, you have to have known.
Yeah.
Like, was there any part where you, not that I think that is a right thing to assume, like if someone's just cheating to like slowly get you to notice that they're cheating and then you eventually call them on it, like none of it's cool. But I do feel like even in Taylor Swift's song, she's like, I sent you signals and bit my nails down to the quick. I don't know what the quick means, but
no,
it's
she
like,
didn't.
I'm
like
like,
blood.
You expect him to figure out that like, well, she's like gnawing on her cuticles and it's like bleeding. I could see that happening.
I do that.
But I could see him being like, why would I? Sometimes I don't notice those things. Like sometimes I get mad at Chris because he won't notice like something that I've been so I think I'm being so pissy and like obvious about my feelings. But he doesn't see it at all. And I'm like, how could you not? But it's like he's just not in tune with the same things I would be in tune with. I forget what my original question was, but it was, I guess.
How did you not know that he was cheating?
Did your boyfriend ever go like, come on, you had to have known?
No, because he was a different breed of a person. Like he was on the witness stand many times being interrogated by me. And every time, like
Before
a perfect liar, like, I don't know what you're talking about, babe. You really need to get some therapy. Like,
so what did he say in response when you had then the proof and you went back and said, all of those times, how could you lie to me? Did he have any response to that?
He
to the times
left. He left.
But he never had to respond to it.
Ran
He pulled an
away
Aussie.
and disappeared. And I was like, no response, which by the way is a response, ladies and gentlemen. If you feel crazy in a relationship, get out. Like if you're constantly like, why do I feel insane? And the person, and you're like, maybe I'm crazy. You're not. Your gut is trying to tell you something.
Some people are.
I mean, some people are, but yeah, he just left in shame. And like, I think like weeks later, I was like trying to piece together some stuff. And he was just like, it doesn't matter. I was like, but no, I need to like, what about that one weekend where you swore that you didn't like, did you actually remember my friend she told me that you cheated with her friend, remember? And then I didn't speak to her for a year because you told me that friend was crazy. Did you cheat? And he was like, does it matter? I'm like, okay, that's a yes. Like he would never give me a yes. It was maddening.
Oh my God, this guy.
Ew, hate. Same. I had the same guy. Hate.
But also when I
It's like, was it on my grandpa's funeral? And he's like,
it doesn't matter.
we don't need to go through all this.
Oh yeah, like
babe.
the past is the past. That's a very common F-boy island phrase. What happened in the past is the past.
What
And it's
happens in Vegas.
That means I cheat all the time.
Yeah.
Chronically. And you know, it's about the future. We're moving forward.
Wait,
when I'm also going to cheat
in the
on you.
audiobook for Prince Harry's book, I listened to the forward because he says in the very beginning, he goes, what's past is past. He goes, what's past is past, and the past is in the past. And I listened to it so many times. It made me laugh. I wish I could play it. Could I play 10 seconds of it?
Yeah.
Pasta
Okay,
is
here it
pasta,
comes.
no matter what kind.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's probably going to be the
Vermicelli.
acknowledgements. I'll find it like after the commercial break.
Yeah. What's past is we'll play it. Anya will find it. We'll put it right here.
The past is never dead. It's not even past. William Faulkner.
Oh, wasn't that fun? We didn't hear it yet, but you guys did. Yeah, everyone's mad at Prince Harry again and Meghan Markle.
Why?
They just can't get
Oh,
to
I
break.
noticed that.
Because they only gave 13 episodes to Spotify for their like $50 billion deal, $50 million deal they got at Spotify to do a podcast, and she only turned in like 12 episodes.
How many
They
are you
called them
supposed to
like
turn in?
entitled brats. I love them, and they can do I will defend them to the death now. I'm really working on this friendship that I'm going to have with them. I think they're cool. I want to hang out with them.
I'm sure
I
they
really
wanna
do.
hang out
I
with
love
you
him.
too.
I'm gonna get in there because they're gonna see me on something defending them. I get their side of things. Someone was just calling him a little whinging, whiny.
whinging.
Oh, they love to use whinging. It was someone that I really
Whinging
liked
again.
too, and I was like, I can't even watch this because this person has it so wrong about them. About like all he does is whine. Oh, I'm a royal and my life sucked. It's like people that have great lives on the outside are allowed to have deep pain, especially when you're never allowed to grieve the death of your mother that was public and you had to walk behind her casket and your dad didn't do your dad never gave you a
Get
fucking
off Charles's
hug.
back.
Your dad you never got one hug from except one person when you're a 11-year-old boy and you just lost your mom. No one hugs you, not your dad, and you never get to cry. You think you're going to turn out okay no matter what. You got to feel sorry for that person and maybe have a little empathy for them as an adult, as I would you and whatever fucked up shit happened to you, person online who's being mean to them.
Yeah, all his
God.
dad did was when he's like, wait, mommy's gone forever. He's like, puts his hand on his back and goes, I'm afraid so, dear boy, and walks out.
No, Charlie would
And
never.
he wakes him up in the middle of the night to tell him and then just leaves him in the middle of the night. So from like 3 a.m. until they had to get up for breakfast at 8 o'clock, and their servants came in to like dress them. And of course, everyone's like, oh, they had servants. They had it so good. You would have been fucking miserable in his shoes too. Just everyone have a little goddamn fucking empathy.
So just like the other perspective of that, where like I don't really know them that well, so I'm not here nor there. But I guess the issue that I have with people who have a lot of money behind them and all that is that they have access to the best kind of therapy to get over that trauma and to rise up from it and stuff. And just thinking about like what I had to do to afford therapy and how like crazy that was. Like, why don't they take advantage of it?
They're
That's
British.
my lingering question.
They do. He goes to tons of therapy. He was going like 5 days a week. He does all of that. So it's like, who knows if it's working or what modalities he's trying. Like he was doing mushrooms for a while to do stuff with it. Whoa, did you guys just hear? This is so fascinating. So they were doing an experiment with MDMA on a bunch of like trial people that were just trying to make some money. This is so cool. So they were doing a trial of, however many people. And one of the people in the trial wrote into the experiment people and said, I am, Google my name. You'll know who I am. I realized something big. And all he wrote was Google my name. I experienced something during this experiment that made me realize I have to do something big. And then they Googled his name, and he's a white supremacist that was fired from his job, and he was all over the news because he was one of the people that was photographed at the Tiki Torch rally thing. Trump said there's good people on both sides, that bullshit. Pretty much a Nazi rally, a march that they did, I forget where.
They killed people in North Carolina.
Yeah. So he was photographed there, lost his job because of it, all over the news. So these people in the study Google this guy's name and they go, oh my God, he's going to do something big. That's all he says in his like cryptic email. And so they contact him to be like, what's going on, dude? And he's like, while on MDMA, I realized how ridiculous this all is. And I love everyone. And I don't want to be a white supremacist anymore. And like had a fucking epiphany. And so they think MDMA can like cure racism. Yes, because it opens your heart in a way that you can't hate.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so
pretty,
cool.
yeah.
I know, it's so cool.
I want to do MDMA.
You should be forced
for
in
myself.
jail if you do like a hate crime to do MDMA until you love everyone.
How do I get MDMA and do it on will someone please reach out to me about like mushroom therapy, MDMA therapy, no, in a healthy way where it's like
you have a friend who does that on a regular basis?
My friend's sister who's coming to town does
Neil
it.
Brennan. But I don't know. I just want to know all of my options about how to do this like clinically so that I can have some like fucking epiphanies about life and my place in it, because I really believe in all of these things and I want to start learning how to do it, that it isn't just some guy who gives me a baggie of stuff.
Taylor, what kind of therapies have you seen really work for people with severe mental illness and blocks, like in your history?
People do like peyote and mushrooms and MDMA and like basically anything, DMT, anything.
And you've seen it
There's
work?
all kinds of drug assisted therapy. Not like, I haven't like personally met anyone that, seen them before and after, but like my friends have done it and they're like, it was great. But not like, I haven't seen anyone become unracist
that
or
has
whatever.
that has worked for. Neil Brennan is not depressed anymore because of DMT. I've shared this before, but he did say that he would never recommend DMT to anyone, or you couldn't pay him $1 billion to do it again. Like he would never ever do it again. But he doesn't have depression anymore, and he suffered with it his whole life, which is even the reason why he was doing DMT. Like, why would you go that far? He tried every kind of thing, and yeah. So that's interesting. Okay, we're gonna go to break and come back and talk about something else. We're back. Another popular topic on the girls' chat. You get one on your bingo card. Thank you to Nikki Glaser, Nikki Pod Memes, I think it's called, for making a bingo card
on
of all the
Instagram,
topics
yes.
I talk about every time on the show.
What?
Let's see if I've hit how many
Nikki
I've
Pod
hit.
Meme?
Nikki Pod Memes.
What's that, Instagram?
Yeah.
Nikki Pod Meme.
Okay, so let's see on the bingo chart he made. Talks about Succession. Haven't done it yet. This doesn't count. I have
you
no
did talk
kids,
about
so I can.
TV show. It should just be a TV show that you're watching.
I think I like six. No, because that's like every podcast.
No, yeah,
it has to be. Okay. I think it has to be more specific. I think he nailed it, or she. I have no kids, so I can spend money on I didn't mention anything of that yet. I don't think. I mentioned Taylor Swift. Okay, so you got one. Someone saying "k."
I think I said
I said it.
Okay, "k" was said. Nikki trash talking certain Insta accounts.
We almost got there.
Not yet.
did
but
that.
We will.
Yeah, let's get there.
Mine.
Nikki complaining about her previous, present, and future voice.
Not yet.
No, I haven't done that yet. I haven't done that.
funny.
I know. Someone jokes about Apple rankings. Didn't even talk about applerankings.com. Nikki talks about no free will. Haven't touched on that yet.
But
Will
These are
I? I don't know.
old.
I'm not. No, I think I still do this stuff. And then mention the girls chat. So we have two. Wait, no, we have three.
Ben.
We'll see. We'll see if we hit any more of those. You let everyone be on a lookout for those other ones because I want to see if we get. Because right now we have the upper right hand corner, the bottom right hand corner, and the left middle side. So we don't even have close to bingo right now or tic tac toe. Okay, so oh no, we could get okay, but I want it to happen naturally. So I'm gonna try to erase that from my mind. On the girls chat. So that's why I thought of this. Anya always has genital questions. General genital questions.
genital is what
And
we call
she
her.
came up with one the other day. I don't even know what spurred it. Will you tell us the genesis of it?
I don't know what
just asked.
spurred it.
Genital
It's
genesis?
just been like eating at me, I guess. And I was just, maybe somebody was talking about I don't know. I can't remember. But I was like, I'm sick of seeing women wipe or that people talk about wiping. Like, obviously you wipe front to back, right? Oh, yeah. Of course. It's like, I have a UTI. Oh, you're wiping front
Why
to
are
back,
people
right?
bragging about that?
They're all bragging about it.
Yeah,
Guess what I know.
And then you'll see a European film and a woman sitting on the toilet, and then she pulls one of these. Okay, I'm going to do it on. She does this.
Okay, so Anya's taking her hand
She
behind
does
her
this
backside.
after peeing and wipes. So she'll just do that. And it's like, all the American audiences will gasp because we don't wipe that way. In the States, we wipe like this.
But we should.
We just go,
You should just go
like that.
You should do
Front.
a claw
Like a-
really hard to. That's the best way. The European way is to start at the vagina from the back and go back.
Like you're wiping your
But
butt.
why?
But-
don't you do two separate wipes, front and back?
If I'm just peeing.
or you take the pee and
No, when I'm peeing and
No,
pooping, it's two
pee
separate
and
sides.
Just talking
Or-
peeing, guys.
Pooping.
Follow me.
Okay, just talking
peeing.
Oh,
But in European films, a woman pees and then she reaches around her butt to wipe.
Okay.
And I'm saying, I'm sick of this posing. I think a lot of women are wiping front to back. They're just not grabbing their butthole and wiping. They're just wiping their vagina, their urethra.
Yeah. I wipe back to front from the front, like you're not supposed to, like you're like everyone thinks
Thank
you're bringing
you.
shit up into your vagina, but I don't even get near my taint.
Yeah.
It's just my vagina. I wipe
Right.
just my vagina to the front, and I don't get yeast infections. I don't get UTIs except from sex. So I'm not going to change the way I do it.
Thank you.
I think the worrying about it is during poop and pee. I don't think anybody's worrying that when you didn't poop, there's still going to be some poop.
Yeah, there's
particles.
definitely
yeah,
poop
doctors
particles there,
worry.
though.
Oh.
people worry.
I thought it was just poop and pee. And I was like,
Doctors
who
don't
would
worry about
not know?
anything. They're
who would
sociopaths.
drag the poop into the vagina?
So yeah, I was just taking a poll to see because I thought like maybe I'm the only woman that wipes back to front. But
You said you dabbed.
I dab, but really I'll just wipe technically back to front. But it's not like Nikki said, it's not past the perineum.
Yeah, your taint gives you a good quarter to a half an inch before you're even in the asshole region to play with. And you can play with it.
Do you want to know something disgusting that I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm doing both, right?
Sure.
I will take my pee because I go from front to back and I'll use the wet
Oh, I do
toilet
that
paper
too.
as like a
Pee?
butt wipe.
Yeah, I'll do that too. It's not disgusting.
What? I've never
It's a
even
wet.
heard of
It's
that.
a
It's
wet wipe.
genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You guys.
If you're far from the sink, because I also get a blob,
I'll
dab
dab
and then do
it
a wet
sometimes.
wipe.
What?
Yeah.
I have never.
But sometimes I do the under the sink with the pee because there's not
Such a
very
good
much pee
idea.
on it.
to use your own pee as a wet wipe.
Or sink.
I had this friend one
Or
time
you
she
can
said
spit
she
on it.
spit on it. I was like, oh.
I've done
For
that.
some reason, that grosses me out
Then
more.
there's
than
like food on like
No,
particles.
you don't have food in your mouth. But I have thought about, I'm like, why is my butthole minty? And I'm like, oh, I just brushed my teeth.
Have you ever used your?
That sounds nice.
Have you ever used your period blood as lube because they don't know you're on your period yet?
Of course.
And you're in the dark and they're like, they think you're super wet.
Of course.
Sometimes I'm just like, I didn't, I don't know. I'm just like, I guess I am. And I'm like, oh, you got it out of me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say. You made it start.
Yeah, but even though it's been going for 4 days.
Like, I was so
it just
horny.
started.
My
They're like,
period
there's a
came out.
tampon in. I think I had that joke actually in my act. Okay, so we covered that. I went to the pool yesterday with my niece and nephew, the public pool. I haven't been to a public pool since we were kids. That's where me and Taylor fell in love. Was the Tree Court public pool where we would spend every single day of every summer between 7th.
But it was private.
It was private?
Yeah.
Oh, it felt public.
You had to be a membo.
But I mean, like, I still had to, at the YMCA yesterday, I still had to, like, pay.
Yeah, I guess
it didn't
that's
feel
not
that public. I paid $32.
Dang.
Well, maybe it was 13, but then plus the kids and stuff. Anyway, went with 3 kids. 3 kids under the age of 6.
Just
Swimming in a pool. And my sister. How are not more kids drowning all the time at these pools? Because there is a lazy river there. There's a current flowing through that thing that is rough.
There's a lazy lifeguard there.
There's a river
lifeguards
running
that-
through a pool?
They have
A river runs through it.
a lazy river around the pool.
What's a lazy
There is
river?
the Webster pool goes through.
What?
What's a lazy river?
It pushes you.
I am confused at your question. You don't know what a lazy river is?
I've never heard this phrase in my life.
Shut
I guarantee 12
Noah?
listeners are with me. Have you guys ever heard
I'm
of a lazy
imagine-
river?
I'm just imagining like just flowing water.
Yeah.
No, but like, do you know, like, if someone's like, oh, this water park has a lazy river, do you know what that is?
No.
No?
I think I can assume what it is.
What?
I don't know
Okay.
if I truly know
What is it, Noah?
Yeah, what is it?
I just imagine like a moat basically, and the water is just like slowly running
Yes.
through
Yeah,
it.
you're
Yes, like,
lazy.
it's a river.
Through
They
a
build like a river where the
Slow-moving
water,
water.
is flowing. So like if you sit on a raft, it'll just take you through it and around and around and around, and you could go forever and ever around
Man-made?
and around. Yeah. No.
It's not an actual. It's like with pool water.
It's at a public pool. Yes, it's man-made, and it's they're very common at water. I guess you've never been to a water park in your life. I'm just guessing
I
because
have.
they're
I
literally
got
at every
slapped
single
at
one.
one once.
What?
By the lazy river?
By
or by
a
men?
13-year-old slapped me right across my face.
Why?
Because he and all his friends cut in front of
She
my
didn't know
little
what a lazy
sister.
river was.
He cut in front of my little sister and all her friends at her birthday, and I was like, "Hey, you can't do that!" And he went, and he slapped me across my face.
How
That
old
is
were
a
you?
pivotal moment
I
of
was
your
like
life.
17
How
or
long
18.
did you guys date after?
I just knew I liked
you were
that
17
kind
or
of
18?
moxie.
Oh my god!
Yeah, maybe 20.
I've
Did
never
he get
been
in
slapped in the face.
trouble?
I must have been 20. My sister was like 8, 9.
But
So
you
I
look
was
young, so he
16,
probably
17.
thought you were like his same age.
Yeah.
What did you
'Cause would
do?
slap an
I just
adult. That's
rounded all the
crazy.
kids up and was like, "We're getting out of here." I was like very shaken up.
Oh my! And how old was he?
Probably 14. He was
He's
12.
MDMA.
And you were 20? I would have
Yeah.
been like, kid, what are you doing?
He was like my
But it was
height,
just, it was,
though. I remember.
oh, fuck.
And he
that's
hit me
terrifying.
It's okay, but anyway, there was no lazy river there. So
He slapped the knowledge of the lazy
You
Yeah.
might
river.
have got to it if a kid didn't slap the shit
there
out
are
of you.
tons
Yeah.
of water rides and water slides, though.
But every water park has a lazy river. But it doesn't matter.
Really?
Do you know what a lazy Susan is?
Yes.
Okay, good. But do you know what a dumb Anya is? I'm just kidding.
What a lazy brain is.
I couldn't think of anything that was like more specific to not knowing what a lazy river was, but I didn't mean dumb. So yeah, it was the lazy river was so fun. But I gave Poppy this like little unicorn that you put in water and it'll grow, warm water, you know.
Oh.
And she loves unicorns.
Like a sponge?
Yeah, like not a sponge, but it's like no, it actually
Like they
looks
go
like
in
a
a
ring.
pill?
No, not a pill sponge. Those are fun though. But it wouldn't get bigger in the cold water. I was like, you have to put it in hot water, babe, because it's like not growing at all. And so at the end of the day, she was like, next time I want it to be pink and I want it to grow very big in the cold water. And I was like, you got it. So pink grows big in cold water. I'm on it. I will find it. And she was
A
like,
penis.
and
I
it
know.
has to be pink. She was so excited about there's no such thing. It has to be in hot water. Anyway, she was holding it in her hand the whole day. I gave it to her before we went to the pool. I didn't even know we were going to the pool. I just went over there to give them some gifts and they were like, we're going to the pool. And I was like, I'm free. There's no excuse not to. Let's go. So she lost it at one point and was like crying, and I was like, I will find it. And so I went and she lost it in the lazy river. And Arlo's like, she lost it right here. I'm like, buddy, it's flows, so it's gonna get taken. I gotta go further, because he was like, just look right here. And I had to explain physics to him and things. And I was like, at least you've heard of a lazy river. You know, we are starting from a place that I can get on board with. But no, he and so then I had to borrow goggles from this little girl. So I was wearing the tiniest little goggles, and I was like, I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm going to look for this thing. And so I went and I found it. I went all the way around the lazy river, and it was disgusting what was going on in there. Because any piece of debris, I was like, is that the
Band-Aids.
unicorn? It was Band-Aids, hair ties with like tons of hair all over them, and just like tissue paper. And
Lazy
just, like,
lifeguard.
Oh, it
didn't
was
clean it.
so gross.
Syringe.
And then honestly, I would not have been surprised. And so I get all the way through the lazy river. I couldn't find it. But then there's this little part that like kind of you goes off and turns into a whirlpool. So it's like a little, an eddy. And you just go around and around and it was swirling around. I couldn't believe I found this tiny little white unicorn in this white, painted pool. And I like heroically was like, got it. And she just like took it from me. And I'm like, are you not going to be like excited that I was, and she's like, I don't know how I dropped it. I was holding it. And I was just like, oh, that's interesting. It wasn't, but, so I felt like a hero, but after an hour of being there, I was just like, we gotta go, like, can we ditch these kids like, and like go talk or something? Like, it's just, it never stops. It never ends. And my sister just said it never ends. It doesn't ever end, because they're into everything, and they could all drown at any second because they're not all that strong of swimmers. It was just a lot.
There's a woman who lives across the street. She's a beautiful young mom, and she just had her second kid. And I think that she's pregnant with her third. And every time I look out the window, she's parenting. Like, there's always a child on a driveway in a wagon rushing toward traffic. She's stopping it. I'm just like, this is like 24/7
I don't know how
hypervigilance.
kids aren't dying all the time. I was saying this to Emma this weekend, Chris's sister-in-law, because she has a young kid. It's like a toddle, they're toddling everywhere. And I'm like, how did kids, when there were like open fires and like sticks and shit, like, how were kids not just being impaled and burned constantly? And I think they probably were. Or they treated them like a Duggar and they did the blanket whip.
What's wrong with a leash, by the way?
They like beat the kid. If the kid would go off the blanket, the Duggars would like hit the kid, a baby, until it learned to be docile and not go off the blanket.
Oh, you haven't watched
that's
this
why all
yet, Taylor?
Duggar kids are like,
you're gonna like it.
I don't.
It's a
I
4-part
got
series.
to. Did you watch it?
I tried to watch. I watched 2
sucked.
parts, and I was just like, it's too slow. I need things to have 2 times the speed. That's why I love the girls' chat. I can zip through it. That's why I love podcasts.
Mine stopped
That's why I
doing
love
2 times.
YouTube. I can 2 times the speed. I can't do it.
I think that's bad for us, though,
I do
2
too.
times the speed.
because I think it like,
like, I prayed so hard to
inhibits
get
us from retaining attention. I almost lost track of my thoughts, but
it's for people with ADD. Like in all the ADD chats on Reddit where people are asking advice for their kids, are like, my kid's having trouble in school, and they're like, try to get lessons to the lessons the teacher sends and do them 2 times the speed, because my kid can then follow it, because if there's a lull, the kid will look at something else.
I had to stop listening because I would do like 1.5 times on the girls' chat, and then I realized like I think everyone's voice is this fast, and everyone sounds like kind of cheery, and then when I listen to it at 1 speed, it's like the tone is completely different. So
Totally
I'm
different
I'm
context. You're right.
characterizing everyone.
I'm going to listen
You
back
missed
to this
crying.
part of the
True.
podcast on 1.5.
It's so true, because I will listen to like, someone crying, and they'll like actually sound really upset, like, and I'm really sad about it, and my dad died, and like,
You have to be like,
I was like,
it does change everything when you listen to.
we're always crying on that, by the way.
Yeah,
it does create bad habits. I do think there's something nice about listening to things on regular speed, or not multitasking all the time. I was on a Zoom meeting the other day, and someone said something, and it was really interesting, and I missed it. And my first thought was, I'll just rewind. And then I'm like, fuck, this is in real time. I can't rewind.
Yeah. I've been taking some like voice lessons online, doing this like course, and I constantly, because she isn't talking 2 times the speed, she loses me all the time. because I have too much time to venture away. I think for me, it helps my focus to keep things moving. I can't, like movies, and TV shows, I rewind hundreds of times in any TV show. Hundreds. Because I get distracted so much because it's so slow. Do you guys not have that trouble?
I would never.
I have that too. And I think it's my phone that's created this problem, because as you're talking, I'm like, okay, it's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Was it your focus that was inhibited first? Or was it because of like all these other factors?
No, I was not like this in high school. I did not suffer ADD in high school. Like this. I mean, I was disorganized. I had many of the signs of it, but I was not like, my attention it was not hard for me to like, I was really good. Now that I'm in like a class again, it's the first time I've been like learning and in it's a Zoom class, but I do these like once a week. And I realized like what a little good student I was, because I was always like nodding along with the teacher so they'd know that I got it. Like I wouldn't do it just like out of nothing, because then they'd call on me and I wouldn't know. But I was always like, you want to give them feedback of like, I got it. Like I was like, man, I was a really good student and now I'm really suffering keeping up with the work, keeping up with the lecture, taking notes. Like it's so out of my
wheel.
Scratch it off. Bingo.
Wait, is purview? That's all right.
Purview.
I just feel like I'm wearing too many hats in the class. I'm trying to be a good student. I'm trying to be a good
Singer.
At the end of the
singer,
day,
yeah.
it is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. I mean, it all does come down to that.
And I'm here for
But
the
have
right
you guys taken any
reasons.
classes recently? Have you like taken like school classes where you have like a curriculum and like a syllabus?
No, but I'd be down.
I just graduated 2 years ago.
God,
and it was
that's
really
true.
like I didn't go for 10 years or something. It was hell.
Getting back into it.
Yeah, to go back to school again for 3 years.
Oh my God.
Hell
Having
on
to like,
earth.
I just remember that last paper I ever turned in and how grateful I was. I was like, I'm never going to have a paper due the rest of my fucking life.
I still have nightmares about papers.
Me too. But you had papers up until 2 years
but
ago.
mine are like high school still. Or like I forgot my locker combo style.
Ooh, yeah, that's a popular one. Do you ever lose your teeth in your dreams?
No.
That's another one that happens to a lot of
in
people.
my nightmares.
I'm never naked in my dreams.
I'm always trying to masturbate, but I can't get alone.
Interesting.
And like
I think I've had
every
that one.
night.
Whoa.
Isn't that weird?
Well, another weird thing is happening
Self-care.
to you right now that you shared on the GC.
It is.
Yeah, string.
Oh, the string theory. I have a string theory. Did you know about it? You guys?
I'm up
did you
to
guys read
date
it?
on the GC, so I never had it.
I'm sure there's some. I want you to share because I'm sure there's someone out there that
Okay.
does
I
have
hear
this.
This
about
is
people
for
that
my
have had
friend
it.
Hannah. So it's I did never describe it. I described it to my friend Hannah. It's like your belly button kind of hurts, but it feels like there's a rubber band going from your belly button to your vagina. And we Googled it, and apparently only women can have it because some part of your umbilical cord could still be in there, like the inner part. And that's where it would kind of connect. And so right now I have it. I can't straighten up all the way, or it feels like the rubber band will snap and it pulls both my belly button and
your
my
vagina.
vagina.
So there's got to be something in there connecting the two.
Yes, there's the string.
The
Is it an illusion or is it an actual physiological part?
Well, what we that it's actual physiological part, perhaps. This is just somebody like when we were Google. It's really hard to Google that.
And
but
you
we
know, if you go to
found
the
someone
doctor, they'll be
talking
like,
about it.
I've never heard of that. Let
Yeah,
me look it
hell
up.
no,
And you're
they
like, I've
don't.
already done that.
Yeah.
And you're not going to find anything I didn't find.
So it could be umbilical is still up in the silicone.
so the
I love
end
these
of our
weird
umbilical
things.
cord is in our where?
Yeah.
Clit?
Some let it. I guess it feels like or it could be maybe I've never had a
Maybe it's
UTI, but it could feel kind of like you got like maybe you got to pee, but you don't.
I just got
but
some
it is in your belly button.
necklaces like wrapped up in each other. So what if there's two different cords that go like that intertwine to sometimes and they got to get on and that's why they snag.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a
don't know if I'm
nerve,
up with-
Taylor?
I don't know.
I had a weird thing
gotta
as a
know.
kid that was like a phenomenon that used to happen to me and my sister, where everything would just go, speaking of 2 times the speed, everything would go really fast and seem really loud. And my mom like would talk and I'd be like, I can't, don't talk anymore. Please don't talk anymore because you're really fast and you're really loud. It's like, it was like this weird thing that would come on. I would feel it coming on and I'd go like, oh, no. And it would sometimes happen when it would be very quiet, like during a test. And then all of a sudden the pen sounds would be like booming loud. Like not actually, I knew they weren't actually loud, but I like, and then, but also very fast and also like slow-mo. It was like this weird distortion of reality. And my sister was the only person who had it too. And it stopped happening after childhood. And then if you Google it, final thought, if you Google it, things speeding up very fast and getting loud, it is a phenomenon that happens to a lot of kids.
Wow.
And it tapers off after adolescence. But it used to happen all the time. And my sister and I would always just go, it's getting loud and slow and fast. And all like, it's slow and fast. It doesn't even make any sense. But my mom would have to just stop talking. And I would just have to like kind of like burrow myself in bed and like cut out all the sounds to make it go away. So if anyone else had that is a thing that happens to all of us. And also the thing that I think happens to all of us is that like thing where you like have, I guess it's heartburn, where you like feel if you like breathe in too much, it'll like hurt again. Like when your heart has like a sting feeling. And
what about when your tubes
you
get
be
twisted?
Still. No, what?
When your esophaguses, two of them for some reason, get twisted.
We don't have two esophagi.
Really? I know, but it feels like that.
Really?
I got so many strings inside.
Isn't it weird that esophagi would never be used unless you were like collecting esophaguses? Like, why would anyone?
What do you mean?
I guess you could be like, I don't know the esophagus twist.
I do have a
sometimes
heart.
it feels like it twists. Go ahead.
I have a thing sometimes, like, I'm sure people get this, like a weird pulled muscle in between your ribs and it feels like you're having a heart attack. Like it happened the other day in bed and I was like, babe, I might die. If I die in my sleep, I'm having a heart attack. If I die in my sleep, I'm just something weird is happening right now. And he's like, it's 3 a.m. Matt's like, what is going on? I'm like, there's a spasm in my heart and I don't know if I'm dying or if it's a rib muscle. And it was just, he's like,
is that the
muscle.
feeling I'm talking about where if you move or breathe too much, it'll come back? Like you feel it for a second. Noah, do you ever have that? I can't believe you guys don't have this.
That I have not had.
So it just all of a sudden there's a stinging and then you're like, oh, I have to stay frozen because the stinging almost felt brought on by my breath in my heart. Oh my God. That's another common thing that does not mean you're dying. If you do get that, it does not mean you're dying.
Do you guys ever have like, I was bit by spiders, so many spiders, and it only happens at night?
I used to see spiders going to
you were molested.
No, it really.
I'm just kidding.
Spider is symbolic of the mother. I learned that in my therapy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm afraid of spiders and I would have spider dreams and my therapist was like, that means mother.
Spider means mother.
This is
a Russian therapist.
Yes. My mom's
wow.
also afraid of spiders.
Yeah, I'm not scared of spiders at all. Centipedes, I would rather 1,000 spiders in a room with me than 2 centipedes.
Which way would you wipe with a centipede if you had
What if you had a centipede connecting your belly button and your clit?
and it just went.
I can now look at videos and pictures of centipedes, but as a kid, I wouldn't even look. I couldn't touch pictures. If it was on my phone or something.
Cute.
They like house centipedes.
Yeah, remember that broom one I had?
Yes,
the Sharpie.
The one that was. No, that was a millipede. It was just crawling across the floor. It looked like a Sharpie that was just
the size of a
What's the
Sharpie.
difference? One is
the
richer than the other.
No, millipedes are like have like a bulbous body, and centipedes are the ones that are like
Oh yeah,
like they move like that sound, like
ew,
and they go all
silverfish?
different ways. Silverfish are like kind of centipede-ish like, but they are not centipedes. But centipedes are just anything with like that many legs all
Too
lined
many.
up together. Spiders have them more like, daddy long legs. Daddy long legs as a
DLLs.
kid. I don't mind them if they're like traipsing along and like
always
their
go,
legs, but I don't like when they go up on a wall and they go flat. I hate when they flat on a wall. I hate when they're just
dance.
like clink, 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 flat.
In the shower, they go.
They do? I think that's kind of cool.
I don't
I
feel
just don't want them
bad.
to be flat.
I feel bad actually about killing any animal in the house except that scary looking silverfish house centipede, whatever it is. It looks like
I don't think I could
Darth
kill
Vader.
one because I love all animals, but I do understand what you're saying. But first of all, they're too
It's a bad
scary
man.
to catch. Even if you like get a bowl over them and you slide a like piece of paper underneath, I don't want to touch the paper that might be touching.
Really?
And they get flatty. They are so flat that they could.
Oh yeah, those things get shunk. They daddy long legs
So
flat.
have you ever
too.
seen a
DLL
mouse
flatty.
like
And they're
go
so
into
fast,
your
and
wall?
they don't know where they're going.
A
They have no
mouse
plan.
can
What?
get so fucking flat. I saw a mouse come out of
flatty long legs.
I saw a mouse come out of a hole that was like you could barely fit a silver dollar.
They're
in
like
there.
octopi.
They're just like
A
they
rat.
or esophagi.
A rat came out of my floor in San Francisco the size of a quarter.
It went mice.
Yeah.
They never creep me out.
and it like
When they
inflates
come out.
like a unicorn in a lazy river.
Yeah. When they bust through your floor, you'll be scared.
But some people are like naturally scared of mice and rats. Like in a way, like spiders.
I think people are scared of the fastness.
But some people like it's almost
yeah.
like okay. Let's
Right?
do a ranking right now. Snakes, spider, mouse.
Mouse
What's your
for me.
Spider don't
Mouse is
care
number one?
at all.
I like spiders and I like snakes. For me, the rat represents disease, and I'm scared it's going to bite me, and I'll have like rabies.
And you'll have a disease. Oh, you're like thinking long term with this thing. Okay.
Rats
I think about short term with all of
families.
these things, but you're right. That's probably smarter. You're thinking about their lineage as well. Okay. I didn't know we were supposed to 23andMe this.
Spiders would never, even though my grandma one time said, I asked why I couldn't borrow a car, and she said the spider and his wife had babies in there. Because they couldn't have sex unless they were married. So
and his
that's
wife.
why I couldn't borrow the
and
car.
they couldn't live together. I mean, this would be insane. That's so funny. I've never. Mice, I think, are always cute. I don't mind them. Even if one was in my house,
They
I
are
would not try to
cute.
kill it. I wouldn't get a mouse trap. I
No,
I just
rat,
have never
not
cared.
a mouse. Mice and rat,
Rat
are two
is just a
different
bigger
things.
mouse to me. Doesn't matter. I don't. It just didn't get to me. The Black Plague stories of how rats spread that. I just did.
There was the fleas that snacked on them.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't even the rats. All right. And I would say number one is snake. I would be the most scared because those can bite the shit out of you, and they're just like too slithery. They also don't know where they're going. Spiders, I think, have more of a plan. Spiders stick to like a straight line. You know, centipedes are going every which way. They're zigzagging. They don't know. Spiders tend to go in one straight line, like you can kind of trace them, and they're easier to like pick up and flick. If you can
But
flick
they get
it.
flat. Spiders get so flat.
But
If you found
I guess
a-
I'm saying in your bed. In your bed. A tarantula, snake, a snake that can't bite you, let's say.
Tarantula
and a
are
rat
friendly.
that has no teeth.
I would welcome the snake.
A rat that has no teeth and its claws,
Old
it's
man.
been checked and its claws can't scratch it.
No,
It's been
a rat
declawed,
is the
which is so mean.
scariest.
A gummy rat with no
Yeah,
teeth.
yeah, for sure.
Grandpa rat.
Because he wants to snuggle. He's gonna want to burrow.
But he's
What's
next
gonna
wrong
to
with
me.
him snuggling? He can't hurt you.
A
He's just a
rat?
little.
He's
he
sick.
have a
If he doesn't
tampon
have
in
teeth,
his
he's
butt?
sick.
I don't want.
Okay,
him.
what if they've been tested for sickness and they they carry
if
no
he was like my
sickness?
neighbor's
Who?
pet rat that escaped, fine.
How are you going to be in with them? They're going to poop. They're going
I
to
don't
want
want to be in with any of them. You're making me.
Okay, you have to be in a bed with a rat under your duvet, and this rat has no disease. It's been checked. No disease.
He's
is
a pet rat.
declawed.
Okay.
And it has and no teeth. Okay, then there's a spider that can't give you disease and has no fangs, will not bite you. And then there's also a snake, has no fangs, and it's a medium-sized snake, and it also has no fangs and won't even try to bite you. Won't even bite you with its skin.
Cute.
What are you gonna do?
Definitely, I love the snake the best.
Just stay 2 minutes in a bed?
Yeah.
And you're
I would love
blindfolded.
it. Oh, I'd love it. If I would hold my legs really tight.
You would love it. Well, yeah, I wouldn't want it.
You don't want it dildoing.
Oh my God, trying to go back in its nest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'd like the snake the most too.
He's cute.
I would like the rat. Spider, get
Noah.
the fuck out of there. I'm going to squish you and I'm going to hurt you.
I feel like the
Noah, which one are
spider
you
wants
doing?
nothing to do with me. He'll be fine. He'll just crawl away.
But you're blindfolded and you don't know, and it's in the dark.
He's going to put all 8 in and bust into your beehole. I'm just protecting my beehole.
Oh, he's going to go feet
Yeah, he
first
goes,
and then
"Don't
go
go."
whoosh, and then
I was gonna say if I'm wearing underwear, it's the spider. If I'm not wearing underwear, I guess it would be the rat.
The rat just wants to get in your crack and warm up. He does not, he can't fit.
Yeah, you don't want that spider could fit in your asshole and you got to consider that. So
No, they
I
look
or
will-
for
your
warm
mouth.
places. He would go right up in my vagina. I don't want
Wait, I
that.
don't know that spiders are looking for warmth. They are always in caves and shit. So
They
I think
want
ticks
wet
are
and warm your vagina.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we had this discussion
I feel so much smarter.
because
Bottom
people
of it.
are either snake, spider, or mice people. Like there's that fear, and I would probably say I'm most scared of spiders out of all those because they just don't. They're just their legs. They go too fast.
Yeah, they're too fast.
I didn't know this about you. Really explain.
But snakes. But there are certain people that if you even talk about snakes or like have a snake. I think Kim Kardashian, Ellen, that's one way she tortured her on her show. It was spiders, actually, with Kim Kardashian. She was terrified of it. It was like on that Maury episode where the girl's scared of cotton.
Cotton Bullman.
That was so crazy that he did that to her.
I know, but it was the highlight of my life.
This girl was scared of cotton and they dressed a man up. I can't even say it
Cotton
because they had to then go and get the cotton and like put glue on it or something.
Yeah. And it was just falling off and going.
Scared.
You guys both have this phobia of cotton where you can't talk about cotton without your mouth going weird?
I do, but Taylor doesn't.
I'm just talking when Nikki.
She's just supporting me.
When we were kids, I would put a sock in my mouth and go cotton, and she would scream and run.
I don't want that at all. I can't. There was another thing this weekend that I was like disgusted. There was those motorcycles in that thing. We talked about that. Another fear of mine as a kid used to be semi trucks going under bridges and getting stuck.
Yes.
And just being like, and like scraping off the top. I used to have if there was a semi truck and there was like a bridge coming up, I'd be like, it's not gonna make it. If you ever look, there's like 2 inches to play with there. It's nuts that more are just
driving.
Those people, I don't know. I can't even imagine it.
Wait, you're afraid because then it would smash you? Or
Like
just
it would
the noise?
just cause so much mayhem on a highway with people going 70 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden this thing, it would either knock out the bridge and be so big and like a huge catastrophe, but I just don't want to see people dying everywhere. And it would cause people to go
my fear is dying everywhere.
So there you go. You do have empathy, Nikki.
I don't want to see people dying.
Yeah. Because you're putting yourself
I never questioned if I have empathy.
Oh, I thought you had, or a therapist had. You're always like, I don't know if I'm that empathetic. You've definitely said that before.
Donna used to say I didn't, but I definitely think I'm empathetic.
Okay,
I definitely, yes.
Yeah, you love animals.
Yeah, you can't be vegan unless you're empathetic. There's no other reason to do it. So
But
yeah, I think I passed that test. What?
I don't like humans as much as animals.
I know it really is, because humans, you can explain what's going on, and animals are just like, what's happening?
Aww.
That's my thing. It's like, if you could talk to animals, I'd be like, yeah, let's kill them. It's fine.
This is what's gonna go down.
We'll put them on factory farms. I don't give a shit. At least we can explain to them, like, we look at you as lesser beings because you happen to be a different species, and so we get to eat you and torture you. Do you understand it? Oh, you do? Okay, that makes it easier for me to do. But if you're just like the whole time, your whole life, you're just like, what? Should have been a part of the bingo card, buddy. Vegan rant. Okay. We gotta go. Tomorrow on the show, my mom will be here. Frange will still be on his honeymoon, but we will talk about so many things, including the Matchbox 20 concert we are going to tonight. Yes, we will.
Yes, we will. Well, I know.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Don't be cut and just use your pee as a wet wipe.